This message didn't reach you by chance. If you're here, it's because your consciousness triggered a spontaneous quantum impulse, an invisible movement that has already begun to reprogram your reality. And here's a detail no one told you. This process is irreversible. It doesn't matter whether you understand it or not. It won't stop until it completely transforms your life. The only question now is, will you resist this wave or learn to surf the flow that has already begun within you? You may already feel it in your body, a nameless restlessness, a strangeness toward the ordinary, a dissatisfaction that didn't exist before. These signs aren't mistakes, they're evidence that your energy field is being reprogrammed. The life that once felt comfortable now feels tight because your elevated vibration is asking for room to expand. This is the first effect of the quantum impulse. Science has already shown that the universe is not static, but a field in constant motion, an ocean of possibilities. When your consciousness resonates with this field, it begins an inevitable identity shift. The subconscious mind responds by reprogramming invisible patterns that held your old reality together. That's why nothing feels right anymore. This discomfort is a sign that you no longer belong to the past. It's like a snake shedding its skin. If you try to stay in the old layer, the pain intensifies. If you surrender to the flow, growth accelerates. The choice isn't whether the impulse will happen. It's already happening. The choice is whether you'll collaborate or resist. And here lies the paradox. The more you try to control, the more chaos intensifies. But when you let go and trust, the universe rearranges everything in your favor. That's the nature of the quantum impulse. It doesn't come from effort, it comes from surrender. It raises your vibrational frequency and opens new timelines, where abundance, clarity, and purpose flow naturally. If you look calmly, you'll notice internal signs already occurring. Changes in sleep, vivid dreams, heightened sensitivity, unexpected synchronicities. This isn't anxiety. It's your consciousness expanding to access more information from the quantum field. Each symptom is an invitation to trust that something greater is unfolding. Think about how time seems to distort. Sometimes minutes feel like hours. Other times, days pass in seconds. That's a clear sign your perception is being recalibrated. Linear time loses strength when consciousness touches the infinite. You begin to live more in flow states than in rigid schedules. Now, close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and notice if any area of your body feels different. Maybe warmth, chills, tingling. These are markers of the energy impulse. They don't require logical explanation, just recognition. When you observe without resistance, the energy flows even more freely. It's natural for the ego to resist. After all, it feels threatened when the internal programming begins to be rewritten. But remember, change is not the enemy, it's an upgrade. It's like replacing outdated software with a much more advanced version. Your subconscious just needs you to accept the download. And if you're in doubt, observe the recent coincidences in your life. People reappearing, aligned opportunities, repeated challenges. This isn't chance. It's the energy field reorganizing your path to prepare for a timeline shift. Every synchronicity is a reminder that you're already in the process. It's not about waiting for the right moment. The moment has already arrived. Every discomfort, every question, every unusual sensation is proof that your reality is collapsing into something greater. You don't need to understand, you just need to collaborate. The universe has already set the movement in motion. Collaboration begins with acceptance. When you stop fighting your inner signals, your sense of worthiness expands. That's the key to attracting abundance more fluidly. It's not about forcing the tide. It's about learning to surf the wave. The sea never stops moving, but you can choose to dance with it instead of drowning. So, make a choice now. Will you keep resisting the impulse, trying to fit into what no longer serves? Or will you open to the expansion that's already begun? This question isn't rhetorical, it's vibrational. Your answer creates the timeline you will live from this moment on. And if this content has already stirred something inside you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This is just the beginning of a quantum journey that can transform your life. Share in the comments, what symptom of the quantum impulse have you noticed? Your experience may inspire others to recognize the same process. Because remember, the impulse has already begun. It doesn't depend on your permission, but how you choose to surf this wave will determine whether your life becomes chaos or symphony. The sea is in motion. Now it's your turn to decide how to navigate it. You might be wondering, how do I know if this impulse is already active in me? The answer is simple: observe the signs. The body is the first to register. Irregular sleep, unexpected energy spikes, creativity bubbling up, or even heightened sensitivity to your surroundings. All are signs that your vibration is being recalibrated. Emotionally, you might feel both euphoria and strangeness. It's like riding an internal roller coaster where old patterns no longer hold. That doesn't mean something's wrong. It simply means your subconscious is releasing old records to make room for new codes. It's real-time energetic updating. You may also notice distortions in your sense of time. Projects that used to take months now resolve in weeks. People reappear at the right moment, as if pulled by an invisible magnet. These synchronicities are proof that the quantum field is directly responding to your elevated vibration. Some call this process anxiety. But what if it's actually expansion? What feels like confusion is often the reorganization of your energy field. What you feel as pressure is just the energy of a greater reality trying to be born. The discomfort is the labor of your new identity. Imagine a seed underground. In the dark, it appears still. But inside, invisible forces are breaking the shell, expanding toward the light. The same is happening in you. The quantum impulse is that inner force breaking the shell of your old reality so your new version can bloom. If you try to control too much, the process becomes painful. But if you trust, it becomes natural. The secret is to trade control for recognition. It's not about pushing the wave, it's about learning to surf it. And like surfing, it requires balance, presence, and the willingness to feel the flow without fighting it. Here's a practical principle. Every time you feel discomfort, don't try to fix it right away. Breathe, observe, welcome it. Ask yourself, is this a symptom of resistance or expansion? That question alone already reprograms your mind to collaborate instead of blocking the flow. Recognition always outweighs control. You are not alone in this process. This impulse isn't just personal, it's also collective. Thousands of people around the world are feeling the same signs. The global quantum field is being elevated, and your individual transformation contributes directly to that wave. You are part of a greater symphony. This realization brings relief. What once felt like individual confusion now reveals itself as planetary updating. You're not going crazy, you're waking up. What once seemed like chaos now shows itself as energetic dance. And the more people recognize this, the stronger the collective field of transformation becomes. Now, pause. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what recent changes feel strange but also carry a sense of inevitability? Maybe it's a relationship that ended, a career that no longer makes sense, or a desire to start over. These are signs that the wave is already in motion. It's normal to feel fear. But remember, fear is just energy without direction. When you trust, fear becomes impulse. It stops being a weight and becomes wind in your sails. That's the alchemy of the timeline jump, transforming resistance into fuel. Every discomfort is really an invitation. Every synchronicity, a confirmation. Every strange sensation, a code for expansion. When you see it this way, anxiety disappears and is replaced by trust. The universe is not against you, it's on your side, orchestrating everything for your awakening. So don't fight the signs. Honor them. They are proof that the quantum impulse has already begun. They show that your sense of worthiness is growing, that your new identity is already pulsing within you. Don't run from the process, because running only delays the inevitable. The wave is already formed. The sea has already risen. Now it's your turn to choose. Will you be dragged by chaos or learn to surf with awareness? The next step is in your hands. You may be noticing strange changes that no longer fit into your old routine-altered sleep patterns. Intense dreams, memory lapses, bursts of energy without any apparent reason. All of this might be interpreted as disorder, but in truth, they are clear signs that the quantum impulse is activating new connections in your energy field. The logical mind, used to predictable patterns, tends to label these things as stress, anxiety, or fatigue. But what if what you're calling confusion is actually expansion? When your vibrational frequency rises, the body and mind must adjust. It's like when an operating system is updated. At first it may seem unstable, but soon everything runs at higher performance. That feeling of no longer fitting into your life is natural when your identity is shifting. The discomfort is a sign that old codes are being dissolved. Your subconscious mind is erasing outdated programs to make room for new realities. This is the invisible process of mental reprogramming. You've likely noticed that time no longer feels the same. Hours drag while days fly by. This distortion is one of the most common symptoms of a timeline shift. Linear time weakens when consciousness begins to align with the quantum field, where past and future already coexist. Another sign is spontaneous creativity. Ideas come at unexpected moments, insights appear effortlessly, and you feel something new is trying to be born. Don't ignore it. Inspiration is not accidental, it's direct communication with the energy field. Each idea is an invitation to manifest your new reality. You might also notice a heightened sensitivity. Places that once felt neutral now feel heavy. People who never bothered you now drain your energy. This happens because your vibrational field has become more refined. You can no longer sustain misaligned energies without feeling the impact. If this process is confusing you, breathe. Place your hand on your chest and ask, is this fear or expansion? Often, the body responds with relief when you acknowledge the truth. The quantum impulse didn't come to break you, it came to elevate your vibration. It is both a spiritual and scientific update happening within you. Now, notice the contrast. While the mind tries to control, consciousness calls for surrender. That's the test. If you insist on control, the process becomes heavy. But if you relax and trust, the flow becomes smooth. It's like swimming against or with the current. The water is the same, but the experience changes completely. You are not alone in this awakening. Thousands of people around the planet are feeling the same symptoms. This collective symphony confirms it's not your imagination, it's a global movement. Your personal expansion helps expand the collective field. Every step you take strengthens the wave of transformation. And the most beautiful part is even if you resist, the impulse doesn't stop. It is irreversible. The only difference lies in how you choose to go through it. Pain comes from resistance. Pleasure comes from trust. The wave is already rising, but you decide whether you'll be swallowed or learn to surf. So the next time you feel strangeness, switch the question from, what's wrong with me, to what new reality is being born through me. That simple shift reprograms your subconscious to recognize change as opportunity, not threat. That is the secret to raising your vibration, turning symptoms into signs, discomfort into expansion, anxiety into creative impulse. The universe never gets it wrong. It simply invites you to trust. And if you're noticing these symptoms now, know this. It's living proof that the quantum impulse is already active in you. Acknowledge it, welcome it, and allow it. That's the first step to surfing the wave instead of resisting it. Your new identity is asking to emerge. The only question is, will you collaborate with it or try to suppress it? That choice will define how you go through this irreversible process. The most common mistake in awakening is trying to control everything. The logical mind wants maps, guarantees, proof. But the quantum impulse cannot be controlled. It's like the wind, invisible, unpredictable, but impossible to stop. You can fight it or raise your sails and let it carry you farther than you ever imagined. The first principle is simple: recognition over control. Instead of spending energy trying to understand every detail, recognize that the process is already underway. This acceptance creates space for the energy field to work in your favor. The universe doesn't need your permission, but it does need your collaboration. The second principle is direction without attachment. Yes, you can have desires, goals, and visions, but surrender the how to the flow. When you release the need to control every step, the quantum field reorganizes possibilities in ways your conscious mind could never predict. Third principle is flow over force. Forcing creates resistance. Trusting creates fluidity. It's like frantically rowing against the current while the ocean is already ready to carry you. When you allow yourself to flow, you discover that progress can be light, natural, and even pleasurable. The fourth principle is collaboration instead of competition. The impulse is not only individual, it is collective. The more you share, the more the wave grows. It's not about beating others, but creating resonance. That's the fastest path to raising your vibration and attracting greater abundance. The fifth principle is trust more than analysis. Analysis has its place, but in the quantum impulse, it can slow you down. Intuition, on the other hand, picks up information before logic. It's your silent compass, the inner temple that knows before the mind. Trusting it is choosing to collapse the most aligned reality. I've lived this myself. There was a time when I tried to control every detail of my expansion. The result was exhaustion, frustration, and a feeling of being stuck. Only when I surrendered to the process did the flow open. What seemed like chaos became clarity. What looked like delay revealed itself as preparation. This surrender is not passivity, it's quantum intelligence. It's like surfing. You don't create the wave, but you learn to feel the right moment to paddle, balance, and surrender to the movement. Those who fight the wave are swallowed. Those who learn to surf are lifted. Now, take a test. Think of something you're trying to control too much. Take a deep breath and ask, what would be the next step if I trusted more and forced less? The answer will come as a feeling. Follow that impulse. This simple practice already reprograms your subconscious to collaborate with the process. And if you want to go deeper into this practice, imagine having a daily guide for 33 days, with exercises, reflections, and techniques to raise your vibration. That's exactly what you'll find in the Quantum Journal Bundle, a practical journey that turns symptoms into signs and structures an energetic routine to consciously surf the quantum impulse. The link is in the description, and you can start this transformative experience right now. Because the truth is simple. There's no point fighting what has already begun. The quantum impulse doesn't ask for permission, it just happens. It's up to you to decide whether it will be resistance or surrender, weight or flight, effort or flow. The choice is always vibrational. And every micro-action taken in trust opens doors that control could never unlock. So surrender. The universe knows the way. The impulse is already active. Your task is only to collaborate, breathe, and let the wave carry you. And when you release control, you discover the destination is far greater than anything you could have planned. That's the beauty of quantum trust. It takes you where your logic would never dare to dream. You might think this process is yours alone, but it's not. Every time you embrace the quantum impulse, your elevated vibration connects with the collective field. You become an energetic node in an invisible network, contributing to global expansion. Your transformation is also contribution. Have you noticed how, when you rise, others around you begin to change too? This isn't coincidence, it's resonance. Your new identity sends out vibrational waves that affect everyone in your path. Suddenly, conversations shift, relationships transform, environments feel different. That's the energy field in motion. This is why the impulse is not just personal, but planetary. We are living through a collective wave of awakening, and every individual who awakens strengthens the wave. It's like a choir. Each individual voice is part of a greater symphony. Together, we raise the vibration of reality. When you resist, you feel isolated. But when you collaborate, you realize you were never alone. Thousands of people around the world are feeling the same impulse, the same synchronicities, the same symptoms. That awareness brings belonging, purpose, and the strength to move forward. The quantum impulse is also an archetypal calling. It activates ancestral memories and future potentials in you, connecting past and future into a vibrant present. What once felt personal reveals itself as collective. What seemed like chaos shows itself as part of a greater evolution. This process also challenges old systems. Social structures, limiting beliefs, and control patterns begin to collapse. It's normal to feel instability, but understand, this is not destruction, it's renewal. Just as a forest needs space for new trees to grow, reality must open space for new consciousness to flourish, and you are part of this transition. Each time you trust the impulse, you strengthen not only your life, but the whole field. Your courage to surf the wave becomes inspiration for others to surrender to the flow as well. Now take a deep breath and ask yourself, what part of my life, if transformed, could help others transform too? It could be an example, a word, or an energy that's contagious. You are already a part of something greater. This collective amplification is inevitable. The impulse is not happening only in isolated individuals, but across the entire planet. Resistance is useless. Collaboration is revolutionary. And each time you align, you help the collective align. So don't underestimate your role. Your transformation is not small, it reverberates. The timeline leap you are experiencing also opens paths for others. We are an energetic web, and every individual vibration strengthens the vibration of the whole. When this awareness sets in, fear fades. You realize you're not in danger, you're in process. You're not alone, you're connected. You're not lost, you're being guided. That clarity is the greatest gift of the quantum impulse. And the more you trust, the more natural it becomes to live in this flow. What once seemed strange becomes everyday. What once felt chaotic becomes harmonious. You learn to surf not just for yourself, but for the collective. In this way, your life is no longer just personal, it becomes contribution. The quantum impulse is the universe's way of reminding you that you are part of the whole. Your expansion is our expansion. Your vibration is our future. When you understand that the quantum impulse is irreversible, fear begins to lose its grip. There's no going back, no way to stop the movement. Your consciousness has already crossed an invisible portal, and every attempt to deny it only creates more frustration. The only way out is surrender. Surrender doesn't mean passivity, it means vibrational intelligence. It means trusting that the universe knows more than your logical mind can comprehend. It means realizing there's a hidden intelligence orchestrating every detail, preparing you to shift timelines with safety and clarity. When you resist, everything seems stuck. The body feels heavy, the mind confused, the heart tight. But when you let go, everything flows. Synchronicities multiply, time opens, opportunities appear. This is living proof that letting go and receiving is the most powerful language of quantum manifestation. You've likely felt this. Moments when everything seemed hard until you gave up control. And suddenly, everything clicked. That's the difference between living in effort and living in flow. Worthiness only activates when you surrender to the process. Think of a surfer. He doesn't create the wave he feels when it's time to paddle, stand, and release control. He doesn't try to dominate the ocean, he dances with it. That's the perfect metaphor for the quantum impulse. You don't need to control it. You need to learn to surf it. Now, close your eyes and imagine yourself on a surfboard, facing a giant wave. If you fight, you'll be swallowed. If you trust, you'll rise. That simple image reprograms your subconscious mind, replacing fear with trust. Your vibration begins to align with the flow. Surrender also means accepting discomfort as part of the process. The pit in your stomach, the sleepless nights, the feeling of not belonging, this is all part of the update. When you welcome it instead of resisting, you turn pain into expansion. That's the true power of reprogramming your mind. It's in this state that abundance begins to flow because the universe only responds when you're in resonance with it. Resistance creates blockage. Trust creates opening. That's the simple, yet often forgotten, equation behind all quantum manifestation. And if you need a daily reminder, repeat softly now, I trust the flow. This affirmation isn't just a phrase, it's a frequency. Each time you say it, you send a message to the energy field that you're ready to receive. That is the vibrational password of surrender. Don't be afraid to let go. The impulse didn't come to destroy, it came to expand. It didn't come to take away, it came to make space. It didn't come to punish, it came to elevate. This is the secret language of evolution. What feels like chaos is actually construction. Now imagine how your life would feel if instead of resisting, you collaborated with every wave. What would it be like to wake up each day knowing the universe is arranging the path? That's the peace surrender brings. That's the vibration that collapses new realities. And remember, the impulse is irreversible. There's no turning back. But how you move through it is your choice. Resistance brings pain. Surrender brings expansion. This is the code the universe whispers within you. Take a deep breath and choose now. You already know the answer. The inner temple never fails. The impulse has already begun, and the wave is already in motion. Your only task is to trust and surf. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And comment below, I surf the impulse. Your declaration is a vibrational pact, a confirmation that you are ready to move through this shift. Consciously. Because in the end, surrender isn't losing control, it's finding true power. The universe is already ready. You are ready. The wave has risen. Now it's time to surf. We've reached the final point of this journey, but not the end of the process. The quantum impulse has no conclusion because it's continuous expansion. Each day, your consciousness opens more, your vibration rises higher, your energy field becomes stronger. You're not at a destination, you're on an eternal crossing. The great revelation is this: you don't just ride the wave, you are the wave. The same quantum field that moves the stars pulses within you. The impulse that began didn't come from outside, it came from your own heart. The universe and you are one. When you realize this, you see there was never separation. You don't need to wait because you already are. You don't need to search because you already have. You don't need to prove because you already deserve. That's the true identity shift, recognizing yourself as the conscious creator of your reality. And here's the beauty. When you align with the impulse, it's not just your life that changes, the collective does too. Your vibration inspires, uplifts, opens new paths. The timeline leap you experience becomes an invitation for others to awaken as well. That's the invisible legacy of your expansion. Now, do one final exercise with me. Close your eyes, take a deep breath and say, I am the impulse. I am the flow. I am the wave. Let that phrase spread through your body like a warm current. This is your vibrational signature, a secret code activating your new identity. This simple practice reprograms your subconscious, dissolving old beliefs and installing a new self-image. You stop being someone who waits and become someone who creates. That's the real law of attraction in motion: to be before having, to vibrate before seeing. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Life starts responding with flow, abundance, synchronicity. Everything that once felt far away starts materializing. Because when you trust, release, and receive, the universe rushes to confirm your vibration. This is the gift of the quantum impulse, freeing you from the weight and bringing you fully into the now. There's no distant future to chase, only an expanded present to live. This is collapsed reality, the manifestation that has already begun within you. You don't need maps, just trust. You don't need proof, just vibration. You don't need external signs because you already are the sign. That's the truth your inner temple has been whispering all along. So choose to live as someone who already is. Let each breath remind you that you are in the flow. Let each step be an aligned micro-action. Let each choice confirm your new identity. And remember, the impulse won't stop. It can only grow. It can only expand. It can only take you beyond what your logical mind imagines. The only question is, are you willing to trust the ocean that has already risen? Now it's your turn to make that commitment. Comment below, "I am the wave." Declare your choice. Because every word creates vibration, and every vibration creates reality. Your declaration is the beginning of a new cycle. And of course, if this message touched your soul, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share it with the people you love. Together, we are building a vibrational community that learns to surf the quantum impulse in harmony. You already are the sign. You already are the flow. You already are the wave. Trust, release, manifest. The universe has already answered.